Hey there, good evening. I hope you guys are having a nice night tonight. All right, welcome back. We are playing. Oh, hello. Hey, there you go. We're playing Pillars of Eternity. None the artist. Keep forgetting it's only Thursday. I did too. I did last night. Had the exact same problem. But it is only Thursday. And we are playing Pillars of Eternity for one more night. Hold on. Hold on. That's better. There we go. That's much better. Keep regretting that it's only Thursday, but 58 days. 58 days. That's not too long now. Not too long. Okay, so we had to give up. We had to give up on the Dungeons of Adnua for now because we need to level a few times in order to continue through the dungeons. So we are headed into the city in search of the key and the queen. One of the things that Mayor Wald told us was that the key is never far from the queen, or something like that, and that is the next step on the journey of the Watcher. That's where we're at. Anyway, none the artist. Matt, I hope you're having a great night. Cheers. I just cheersed you with pink lemonade because I'm an adult and I can do that if I want to. That's a hardcore drink, pink lemonade. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. It's been a pretty decent day. I got a lot of work done today, and then before stream, my wife made some fish for dinner. Very good fish. Got in a 14-point-something mile bike ride, trying to get 15 by the end of next week. And then hopefully the week after that, I'm going to be trying to push for 20. A 20-mile ride. I'd like to do ride a marathon length by mid-July. Where to find sugar-free pink lemonade? At Walmart. It's called, hold on. It doesn't say. It doesn't say on the little thing who it's made by. It's actually, technically, it's raspberry lemonade. Started the new expansion on ESO tonight, and it's pretty fun. Necron gives you the Arcane class. And you learn stuff like portals and soul steal. See, now that I've played Skyrim, I feel like I could probably appreciate Elder Scrolls Online a lot more. Because it's tempting at some point in the future when I've finished the story of Final Fantasy XIV and I have, a month's worth of videos ready to go to check it out again. But it's gonna be a bit before I can dive into an MMO it's probably gonna be at least a month before I can dive back into an MMO. Probably take the entire month of July off. All right. Oh, I almost forgot. We have a new party member. We got another ranger in the party. Can't wait to see her. Let's take a look. I gotta get my transitions back. You know, I forgot we have some great speech transitions, and I don't know why they're not being used. I do think the slide transition is really cool, but I miss my Dragoon speech transition or my speech lick transition, either one. A full party again, and now I have 2 animals. I don't know. 87 versus 125. I don't know if the wolf is going to be as good of a tank, but we'll see. So we were clearing out this map at the Wooden Plains because we have to take the long way around to get into the city due to the bridge being washed out. All about that farty booty. Oh, I forgot about that one. We have one where he just farts across the screen, correct? I don't know when those just stopped working. At one time, they were set up to be the automatic transitions, and they just haven't played in a long time. It was probably during a OBS update. I just need to go back in and reselect them. Okay, it looks like we've done just about everything we can do here. Embarrassing, the first quest we do was meant to be a solo quest. We were doing it as a group, and it glitched out, and my husband had to use the internet guide and abandon the quest. I mean, embarrassing for the people who make the game. Alright, so I guess... Oh, wait, I still can't get into the city? How do you get into this city? This is the bridge that's washed out. I can get there. How come I can't get to this bridge now? Oh, probably because I'm on the wrong side. Maybe I'm leaving from the wrong side. Maybe we need to go out over here. That's how it would work in Baldur's Gate. I don't know if it works that way in this game or not. Yes, that worked. You have to kill 400 boars. If there were 400 boars on the map to kill, I might work on that. And this map has nothing. There are people to talk to. Go back to standard mode. Commoner's got some cool looking clothes. As you near, you feel the vibrant history. Yes, reach for the soul. You see a lavishly decorated room. Walls hung with tapestries, ornate oil lamps, creating a warm, relaxing atmosphere. There are several overstuffed couches covered with silk pillows and an elegant table in the middle of the floor. This woman is seated at the table, sitting across from another woman. They are both well dressed, their style befitting the room they're in. The other woman's hair is blonde in stark contrast to this woman's black and is swept up on her head in a dramatic style. The women speak in an easy, free tone, obviously familiar with one another. Though they each seem to be comfortable with the other's company, a strange nervousness surrounds the blonde woman's actions. She occasionally betrays herself with a little giggle or stammer, hitching over an easy word as she speaks. Her demeanor swings from friendly to shy and back again with no warning. This woman leans back a little in her chair, stretching lightly. As she finishes her stretch, she gently lays her hand next to the other woman's hand, letting their fingers subtly intertwine. The second woman stops speaking mid-sentence, inhales sharply, and turns red. She does not, however, move her hand. This woman smiles and moves her hand further over the other's, holding it. She then stands, moving around the table toward the blonde woman whose face shows conflicting emotions of terror and lust. She giggles and pulls her hand out from under the other and brings it to her mouth, the red of her face deepening. This woman stops, looking down at her, eyes sparkling. She reaches out and pulls something from the blonde's hair, letting it fall around her shoulders. Then she leans over, brushing her lips slightly over the blonde woman's cheek, resting her mouth against her ear. As she whispers, her hand moves lithely down the other woman's body to her waist. The blonde shudders and leans into the hand, eyes closing, cheek pressing against the lips, still whispering at her ear. This woman's hand deftly removes a small bag from the other woman's belt and secretes it under her own cloak at the small of her back. Then she gently kisses the other woman's cheek and stands again, the smile never leaving her mouth. She is a thief! Sometimes I wish that you could have conversations after you learn something. Go to the DMV. You see a ship being tossed about in a storm-ravaged sea. The swells rise and fall, carrying the ship with them as if it were a toy. This man stands on deck at the helm of the ship while water whips around him. The crew moves about frantically, trying to keep the chaos under control. He barks order at them, pointing where to go and giving each one a task. The men, while standing visibly distressed, seem to calm down when they're given their orders. He instructs the helmsman to resume his duties at the wheel and rushes to the aid of a crewman who is struggling with a rope attached to one of the sails. The ship crests a wave, going almost vertical in one direction and then immediately again in the other direction. Several of the crew are thrown from their feet, sliding across the deck as the ship rocks. After the swell passes and the ship returns to a relatively normal orientation, the man quickly scans the deck, counting silently. No one has been lost this time, thankfully. He looks in the direction they're headed, seeing no reprieve from the storm in sight. His jaw squared and his upper lip stiffened, he returns to the helm and takes the wheel again. They did a great job writing these little like flash fiction stories. Made some creamy red wine mushroom chicken risotto. My first time making it, it was delicious. It sounds good. You see a flurry of matted white hair and an incandescent freeze fire staff before you see the man, cold and wild. He chews a wizened apple slowly, discharging spell after spell into the jumble of villagers screeching their way towards him. Cold flame vents from his nose, and apple seeds shoot from the side of his mouth as he saunters forward, ignoring arrows and curses alike. A deliberate twist of his staff and a bullet of force glides through the torso of one assailant and another. A roar blisters his throat as he launches himself into their midst, tearing into their essence with his staff. A pleading hand reaches towards him and quickly falls, ignored. Silence takes hold as the tattered man gathers his prize, a basket of fresh pears. He hums as he eats. That dude sounds super evil. Push him off the bridge. If they're commoner, I'm not even going to bother. Because they typically don't seem to have any kind of dialogue or anything. The trick is to brown chopped white onions and red wine together until it reaches a golden brown. Watch yourself in the city, understood? Sure, I understand. Take you 15 minutes to walk into Copperlance. I never made a risotto. Whoa,
the city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry.
Would you look at that? We just completed Act 1.
Legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
How do you incinerate a god? I don't really know. Alright, so Act 1, complete, I guess. Okay, well, we've got lots of places to go here. The Goose and Fox, the Marketplace, Admeth's Den Expedition Hall, world map, Lumdala, Scrivener's Catacombs, First Fires, and the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Okay, I have to find the Leaden Key in the City of Defiance. That's where we're at. Never far from the Queen. It's where I must go if I'm going to track down. Go to the Temple of Wodaka. That's where we're headed for. But we're also looking for the Records Archive. So the Temple and the Records Archive.
The City of Defiance. Crown jewel of the Deerwood.
Wait.
You asked the locals.
I shouldn't go into details, but it takes some really high quality jumper cables. I don't even know what to what we are referring at this point. Protesters. Commoner.
Just say the word.
I'm sure if I went and visited like inns and such, I could find some side quests.
Leave it to me.
But I am going to just see if I stumble across those as we move through the story. Okay, we probably want to head into First Fires. Let's go into First Fires. So we're going to head over here. Follow our gang. Even time it costs $3? Wait. Oh, they're actors. Who's Lumdala? The statuesque woman has a gaze that could cut stone. She turns her chiseled cheekbones to the sky and favors you with a look of acknowledgement. Her eyes shimmer under silvered eyeshadow and a razor-precise line of kohl. Before you can speak, she throws her hands up in a dramatic fashion.
Keep you.
Autographs after the performance, please. Great art requires great concentration, and greatness is expected from the Revel of Stars. What is the Revel of Stars? We are the finest theater troupe in the city. We believe that the best art is immersive and true to life. She looks at the amphitheater with a rapturous expression. We stage our performances right here in Copper Lane for the edification of all. I suppose I can spare a moment for a fan. Do they take in new members? But of course! Good drama is a balm to the soul, and we wish to offer a true theatrical experience to as many as possible. Now, what do you take? We'll take in the new and old, the tall and small, the experienced and inexperienced, whoever is best suited to fulfill a role to the utmost. And how long do you keep them? As long as they are able to satisfy the demands of their roles. She smooths a wayward strand of hair. True acting can be a grueling process, so some last longer than others. What do you do? That depends entirely on the demands of the role. She lays a slender hand on her chest. I am the Pallid Knight, the Widow of the Wood, and the Warrior Queen Makka, all at different times. To live a different life each day is a glorious thing indeed, my friend. Okay, then.
Just say the word.
Nope, I've never done that. Honestly, though, I don't drink wine because I don't like wine. I don't drink much, period. Okay. Ducal Palace. Crucible Keep. There's the temple. That's where we're headed. I thought that said the villain embassy for a second. I was like, you could just say I'm a bad guy? But that's not what it says. Heritage Hill claims and wait. We remind all visitors to Defiance Bay that the hill is
this
sealed
the
for the
old
city's
church you were looking
protection.
for?
Oh, we've got a ghost.
Praise to the exiled queen. May her crown be restored and her justice prevail.
A ghost hovers in the middle of the.
To the queen that was.
Oh, okay. In the middle of the ruins, reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit's form shifts and swirls, it retains the face of an elderly man in robes that mark wealth and status. It turns to you. Come to pay your respects to the queen it was. I suppose so. Was told I'd find the Temple of Wodic here.
And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum.
Oh no, what stairs?
These stairs, of course. The sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires.
Okay, tell me where I'd find an entrance to these catacombs.
There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane. I haven't been to that part of town in ages, but as I recall, it's somewhere near the southern gate.
Okay. So the southern gate of Copper Lane. Can't drink much myself because of my gout, but wine is great for cooking. We used to have some like specific cooking wine. My wife used it to make one thing one time, and I think it sat in our refrigerator for like 4 years after that.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Wudaka watches over them all. Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Wudaka is also goddess of memory and vengeance.
Oh,
And she
yeah, you don't want to make mad a god of vengeance,
She'll
right?
remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
You know that you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
Yeah, I'm joking.
I really... Worshipping Wudaka, the exiled queen and oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia.
Right? Especially
my emperor's
one that never
wish
forgets.
that
You
I
never
serve
do.
in
That
this
is the
barbarian
wrong person to make angry.
And so I do.
Who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugfold III. and
Ardwellen
pleased to
Rugfold
make
III?
your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
All right. Well, it's good talking to goodbye. Sagani draws up next to you. You all right? Looked almost like you'd lost your footing for a minute. It happens from time to time. Feels that way when I see you in the ether. I'm fine. To be honest, I'm not feeling so well. It happens from time to time. You really are a watcher, aren't you? Once in a great many generations, one of my people is born with the ability to speak to souls. Usually such individuals become elders, or a lone set of tracks in the snow. She cocks her head. I would have thought my journey would be easier if I could see what you see, but looking at you, I'm not sure. Yeah. Neither am I. Believe it or not, I once would have rejoiced to know I'd be picked to travel far in the search of something great. But even these gifts come with a cost, don't they? Forgive me if I was a little skeptical of your abilities before. I can't say I've met a real watcher before. Right? And you got taken in by one who was pretending to be a watcher, so it's understandable. Oh, don't worry about him. He just likes doing that from time to time. Seems to cheer him up, so I just let him. Once he's seen it a few times, the shock wears off. Every time he goes a little strange in the face, I try and see if I can hear anything. It hasn't worked so far. See if you can get him to tell you what the spirits said. All right, so we gotta go back to Copper Lane to see if we can find an entrance. So let's head up here.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
I'm gathering my party before venturing forth. All right, none the artist. We'll see you when you get back. Just being a great old one warlock without the benefits? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfect for Smeech. I should have been a Smeechingly wizard. Then I could have pretended to be a warlock. Okay, near the south gate. Probably in the catacombs, would be my guess. Thought I was still on fast mode. Who are you? Skinflint. You see, it makes me cringe a little when I say something like you see a older dwarf. You see an older dwarf counting coins behind a grimy shop window, hair limp with grease and sweat, a sneer playing around the edges of his pinched mouth. The bargains of the day lie scattered across the table, from tarnished, tawdry jewelry to an acid-encrusted dagger lying precariously near the edge. His half-nose twitches in anticipation as a customer enters. A disheveled young noble, once white doublet, stained with a life gone wrong. Eyes dart behind him, searching for pursuit before he dumps the contents of his Hessian bag on the table. The dwarf leans forward, fingers flicking through the silverware and assorted goblets. He shakes his head emphatically. Sorry, could not read that. He shakes his head emphatically, sneer fully settled, shoving the items back at the man. The man pleads, begs, eyes rolling, panicked in their socket, asking for something, anything, a few silvers. The dwarf leers and tosses 3 copper pans on the table. Desperate, the young noble tears a signet ring from his finger. To the dwarf's ill-concealed delight, a few more coins go into the pile, and the defeated man, swearing stitches under his breath, exits the shop. The venerable dwarf grins at his good fortune, picking food out of his 2 sharp teeth as he examines his haul. This game is doing everything it can to make me want to become the villain. Like, most of the people, we find very few people who aren't bad guys. Like, traditional, and bad guys in the traditional sense of the word. Like, they're just not good people. As you approach the dead man, you can feel the faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you near without warning, the soul hurries toward you, as though you were a solitary light in the dank gloom of this place, come to usher it away. Its essence invades your consciousness. Morality is a lie. It may be, but I still am smeechingly neutral. You are in a different body now. Walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe, with a mask pulled over your face. You're following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Others await, clothed in hoods and shadows. Ahead is another figure dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies on the damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are shredded. An addendum for Never Far from the Queen. Oh, here we go. Yes. Presumably a member of the Leaden Key was ambushed on his way through the catacombs. The disguise that would get him past the Leaden Key sentries was lost when the man was carried off by trolls. So we gotta go find the trolls so that we can get past the sentries. Need to share this message I got from Yeti Detective after demanding an update on my warlock body. Okay, alright, okay. I'd like to point out that my promise of robot immortality to all of my friends and loved ones was made by a guy with an alleged high school diploma. But I knew that I'd have to acquire knowledge in computer science, machine learning, and biology in order to deliver that promise. And now, 15 years later, I'm working as a computer scientist for a medical technology company that heavily leverages machine learning. So he's not saying it's not going to happen. He's just saying he's still working on it, but he's getting closer. There's a troll. Did troll see us? Troll did not see us.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
You're mine.
This troll is nothing. We faced so much in Adnua that the troll feels like it's nothing. And robots tired of pooping, and robots don't poop. I mean, I suppose that's valid. You. There we go. We got our new formation.
I'll take a look.
Okay, the question is, should I go through this door? I'm gonna go look at the door. Wait. I spotted a black ooze.
That's how it's done. You're mine.
Easy, easy, easy.
Margaret's fire casts light in dark places.
What is in here? Another ooze.
You should have run.
Start shooting.
You're mine.
Do you think being in the dungeon we maybe over-leveled some of this content just a little bit? I demand my promised robot upgrade. Squid, good evening. I did say what you did. You did. I'm perfectly happy with that. Honestly, I'm completely fine with that. Yesterday we were fighting CR10 vampires. Today we're fighting CR1 oozes. That's what it feels like, just a little bit. Yes.
I'll take a look.
Okay. Chuck. That's all it said. Chuck. It feels like this game is going to be kind of short. We just finished Act 1.
Wonder what this is.
I don't know how many acts there are in the game, but it feels like the game could be kind of short. No, we are not. We will go back to the dungeon once I gain enough levels. I need to get Smeech's, well, one of my characters needs to have a mechanic skill of like 11 before we can really move forward. Switching rooms. All right. We'll see you when you get back. Nature's Embrace. Burn damage resist bonus. Freeze damage resist bonus. Spell holding wood skin. Let's throw some stuff. We've got a lot of junk we're carrying around. We can throw this pig in there. That is light armor, correct? Aloth's light armor of overseeing. That's not that great. But this armor's not bad. That's a medium armor. What does she wear? She wears light. Can she wear medium? I bet she can. Yes, she can wear medium. We're gonna give her medium. Mead. +1 damage reduction. Why not? You hang on to that. You can also hang on to this. And that. He also wears medium armor. Is Smeech wearing light armor? Smeech is wearing light armor. Crappy light armor. Smeech, you can wear... Wait, what changes? 36, 54... 56, 46. Yeah, okay. Rangers in medium armor seems good to me. So from the looks of it, you'll enjoy Cyberpunk when you get around to it, but you might need to check and see if you can still play it. They raised the system requirements. One of the stupidest things they could have done this late after game release. So, Squig, I own it on PlayStation 5. So if the system requirements change there, I'll be in trouble. I don't own the PC version. So hopefully I'll be good.
Just say the word.
Okay, we got a fine robe, but that's mostly junk. Some more lockpicks. I would hope. Man, if suddenly they were like, we know we released this on the PlayStation 5, but you can't play it on there anymore, that would be upsetting. Because my copy of Cyberpunk is still wrapped. Like, it's never been opened.
Found it!
Ooh, fine mail armor. More just fine armor, that's fine. We'll take that. No
Just say the
great
word.
use for it. So you have to have 16 gigs of RAM to run it on PC? Is that what you're saying? Or it takes up 16... No, it's got to take more than 16 gigs of space on your computer.
You should have run!
16 gigabytes to play Shadowrun from the Genesis. I do believe, I believe this. Shadowrun on the Genesis was the superior Shadowrun of the 16-bit generation. There were things that I liked more, like I really liked the overworld exploration more on the Super Nintendo, but overall the game was better on the Genesis.
I shall be quiet as a cock.
Death to our enemies!
Wow. She's violent. Oh, that might be Smeech that said that. I thought that was the dwarf for a minute. That was definitely Smeech.
That's it.
Laying low.
Can still play it, but I 100%ed years ago now. Total of 70 gigabyte download now, 1060 and i7 CPU. So I do not have an i7. I only have an i5. But depending on what generation of i7 it requires, my i5 is better than several i7s. I'm only running a 1080 card. I would love to upgrade someday, but it's gonna be a bit. What is this? Merciless Gaze. We don't know what that does. We aren't going downstairs yet. We're gonna finish this floor out before we go downstairs. The company's choices that they have made me sigh.
Get on!
Well, it happens. It happens. They'll probably make a comeback. Like, sometimes they just make a few bad decisions and then they can recover. Oh. You know, not everything can be great.
This fight is mine! Ready, Watcher.
That's it.
My animal companions are having a hard time with that pillar. They can't seem to get past the pillar.
Get on!
There we go. That's better. Somebody just laughed a pretty crazy laugh. So far, my experience with CD Projekt Red, Witcher 3 was fun, but too slow and bad pacing. Cyberpunk overhyped, good story, good game, bad management, and again, too much importance on graphics. Sewer mucks, or poop slimes, if you will, are black oozes who do poison damage instead of necrotic. I like that. I like that. I'm getting ready to do a little bit of a sewer exploration on in our game on Sunday. Ooh, a pistol. That's two-handed. So there's no dual wielding of pistols in this game, it seems. Oh, I triggered a trap. We're not even... Oh, because I'm not sneaking. Helgen of Theon. A lone figure in tattered robes shuffles across the chamber, muttering under its breath. As you approach, the figure halts and swivels its head towards you. Its haggard visage is a labyrinth of wrinkles and sores overgrown by a moss-like beard. What's this? Who disturbs Hellig's work? Its voice rattles and gurgles like that of a drowning man. It's just exploring the catacombs. The figure aims a gnarled finger at the door. Then go and thank your gods I'm not hungry. If there's nothing else, be on your way. What are those creatures? It looks like a zombie. Just a few personal projects. Sorry souls stuck in their mortal shells. Their flesh is as dead as mine, though their minds are not as well maintained. They flock to me like worms to drakes. They're not half as intelligent, but... He watches as one stumbles into a desk. They serve for amusement. Research a hodgepodge of animancy and necromancy. I have peace and quiet as well as an abundant supply of subjects. Okay then. How about we go for a
Yeah.
little sneaking?
Leave it to me.
Can we sneak around over here? He sees me. Maybe he doesn't care.
I've got something over here.
Those are revenants. Have some unused monsters. Exploding fungal rats explode on death, pooping off a spore cloud and releasing a fungal servant. Fart elementals squeak for themselves. One of the things that my party's going to be tracking down in their little sewer expedition this weekend is a piper spirit. It's a ghost piper who is gathering rats. Like, it's the Pied Piper, but he's gathering rats and using them to attack parts of the city. But there's also two major monsters in the sewer. One is a sewer cleaner, and then the boss of the whole sewer dungeon is a corpse collector. Larian Studios. So far, Divinity was boring and slow. Could be great, but when I can't make it through the beginning, what good is the rest of the game, you know? Baldur's Gate 3, they learned that. He's the TMNT version of Ratman, kind of. How many dead bodies in the sewer? Enough to that the corpse collector has some corpses sticking out of him. So corpse collector is a construct with spikes on it, and it finds the bodies and sticks them on the spikes. So it's got this like fetid cloud, and it can do like some necrotic damage, and it can cause people to retch and stuff like that. But they've been the people who are in charge of the city have been hiring adventurers to go down into the sewer to try to get rid of the rats. And that's why there's what the corpse collector's been collecting. How did I not put turtles in my mutant sewer dungeon? Man, terrible. I have a ninja turtle, or well, samurai turtle figure. I did just save, right? I don't need to steal this guy. It's not worth stealing this guy's locket to make him maybe fight me. Just going to explore over here.
Wonder what this is.
Couldn't disarm this trap. I can't. I like that I can see how difficult it is to unlock a door. I wish that I could see how difficult it is to disarm a trap. Oh, when I set off a trap, evidently it takes me out of stealth mode.
I'll go on ahead.
Can't disarm that either. Alright, the rest of my party should come back down here.
How may I help?
They're gonna set off a few traps along the way, that's okay. We're gonna have to make a sewer system mega dungeon. Levels 1 to 20 while exploring the stench of levels 1 to 200. Please put a giant talking rat in your mega dungeon.
Yeah.
Please do.
I'm on the trail.
Okay, we gotta head this way. I've still got a little bit to explore here before we go on down. There they come. So when other people play games like this, like Squig, I know you play games like this. When you have your party move somewhere that's a long distance, do you try to keep your camera focused on your party? Or do you just wait like I just did? A were-rat and his 4 turtle disciple bodyguards. Okay, I like that. I like that. Bethesda has a few things. Their games have so much in them. The story really isn't great in any of them. Zoom out all the way. I guess that makes sense. I keep forgetting I can even zoom out. Yorn! The small Orlin man appears to have pulled together some crates and scraps of cloth to make a rather sorry-looking little camp. The thick fur on his limbs is matted and his clothing smeared with blackening grime. He looks startled as you enter, his eyes widening in alarm.
How do you do?
Oh, hello. After a moment, however, he smiles weakly. Hello there. Wasn't expecting any visitors down in these parts. He glances around the dim room. What are you doing down here? I've been a little down on my luck lately. Didn't have anywhere to stay, so I thought I'd come down here. Nobody pokes around in the catacombs much. Not until you, anyway. There are less dangerous places to live as meager a life. You're hiding from something or someone. Yeah, I guess that's plain enough to see. Very well, it's true. I've been hiding from the knights down here. But it isn't what you think. It was an accident. It's been hard for me here in Defiance Bay. I suppose I thought if I got involved in city business, if I made the right friends, it would get easier in time. And it did, really. I made a name for myself. A place. People actually listen to me when I talk. Well, they used to. People can get very passionate about these things. We were discussing, I think it was shipping agreements? Of all the things to fight over. But this one night, this man, he got very angry. I think maybe he'd had a little too much at the inn. And I guess he didn't like an Orlin talking back to him. I struck him. He came toward me and I hit him. And he went over like a tree. I guess he struck his head on the way down. It turns out he was a knight. The Crucible Knights won't care how it happened. They just want me gone. They won't let me live long enough to see the rope. See the rope? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Please. He looks at you with a pleading expression. I just want to get out of this city. The second I can get money for passage, I won't trouble anyone again. I swear it. I'll live quietly, but you can't... Please, you can't tell them I'm here. Oh. If I give him 300, that's secret. This should be enough to buy your passage out of Defiance Bay. You're coming with me. You'll face the Duke's justice. That reward's worth more than your sorry life. Justice demands you pay for your misdeeds. No, get out of the city. But this is... His face twists as he struggles for words. They said you were a kind... Who said I was a kind soul? Who is saying things like this about me? This will see me out of the city and well away. I'm not sure I could ever thank you enough, but here, take this. I hope it's some use to you on your journey. You have my lasting gratitude, friend. I should get ready. Gain an item, rabbit fur gloves. Decide Eorn's fate. Didn't I just do this? That looks done. Oh, it is done. Task completed now. Aha! Ha 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 ha. Bethesda's bugs probably come from everything they have in the game. Tends to happen with too many eggs in one basket. Lip syncing is usually on point. And they put gameplay before story. It served them well enough. Hey, Topher, good evening. Random encounters can find them engaged in combat with a warforge controlled by an intellect devourer in its chest. A werebore, a saxum, and a human ninja covered in spikes. That dungeon's gonna be fun, man. What are you gonna do for a human-sized fly? This story was a good one, though, for the downside of their DLC inconvenience. Pillar of Eternity was a great story, and the UI was easy because UIs need to... so far I think this UI is great, and one of the things I love about it The thing I love the absolute most is this right here. The stash. The stash makes this game so much more fun to play. Reskinned Aarakocra. That would work. That would work. Crit multiplier 10%. Yes, we'll wear those. He's gone. Now we can loot. Okay, we got some fire, a wobbly tent. And the queen that was and still is. Dear sisters, do you still remember your first deliverance? When you strangled your first wrongdoer, did you see the moment when life became death? Could you see the instance when your victim realized that Woedica forgets nothing? When Woedica takes back her throne, will you face her with pride, knowing you have held your own oaths, or will you be amongst the word breakers? Woedica teaches vengeance and memory, and while she is in exile, we must be her eyes and ears that let no injustice slip from record. We must be clenched fists that silences the lying breath. When Woedica takes back her throne, all of the injustice that have slipped through the cracks of history will be righted. The villains hiding in plain sight amongst the innocent will feel the burned queen's choking grasp. Pray that you live to see the day when you will join our queen in this cleansing of the wicked. But know, my sisters, that we must be ready to see the end of our days without the return of our queen. For she will take back her throne, but it may be our daughters that serve the restored court. We must continue to live as we have always lived, hated by other faiths, even though we place justice above our own well-being. At least the Empire of Aedir still holds our creed in proper esteem. It is a proper sign of respect that by imperial custom our clergy must oversee a contract for it to be legally binding. For who else understands the value of remembering one oaths than Woedica's faithful? And let us not count our current blessings, for we still enjoy the support of the Paladin Order of the Steel Garrote. They too understand that society is built and broken by the oaths and rules of its people. When Woedica takes back her throne, my family will know that I was right to commit my life to the exiled queen. When Woedica takes back her throne, the Strangler will stop being a story told to frighten our daughters, but a hero woven into parables that teach our children justice. When Woedica takes back her throne, she will bring her flawless memory with her. Every transgression, every crime, and every injustice will be revealed. When Woedica takes back her throne, even gods won't be spared their due retribution. Wow. Somebody's a little, zealous. A little zealous. People who complicate their UI are in need of people to explain why that's a very bad mistake. Probably companies who don't listen to their design team. Most likely, yes. Usually, in my experience, which is limited, so this is, take it with a grain of salt.
Can do.
If there are UI problems, a lot of times it is going to be because the producers demanded something in the UI change. They didn't like something about the UI. Like, it just didn't pop. That's actually words I've heard from a producer before. The UI just doesn't pop. Bah. Bah. Oh, there's a skeleton over here. Holy cow. Did he just get all dead? No. No, he didn't. He has turned evil on me for a moment.
Just say the word.
We have Potion of Power. Pincers of Power. Pincers of Power.
You better run. That's how it's done.
Hey, is this the troll we're searching for?
Get to our enemies. This fight is mine.
Nope. Oh, little sporelings. Little baby sporelings. The UI does not need to pop. The game dialogue, gameplay, and story need to pop. The UI needs to serve as the backbone. It's part of my feeling. It depends. Sometimes it depends on your audience. If you're making games for little kids, sometimes your UI needs to have elements that pop because that's what brings them to the attention of a child. You have to teach a child by using the right, like, just colors. Using the right colors on things is important when you're working with children. Making certain buttons bigger than other buttons, it's an important decision when you're making games for children. I'm sure that's an important decision when you're making games for adults too, but it is influenced by different things.
That's it.
Okay, we need to do something different here. We need to have some people work on taking that thing out before it can mind control anyone, and then everyone else
Following your lead.
can keep working on the sporelings.
Run!
Okay, now everyone can work on sporelings all together.
I have them.
Come on, troll. There you go. Good job.
Just say the word.
Right, we make it green because green means
Leave
go.
it to me.
And yet, strangely enough, even like a 5-year-old understands that. Like we teach children that young. But also, if you have a button that is big and a button that is little, young children will assume that the button that is big is what makes you go and the button that is little is what makes you stop. I don't know why that is, but that is how it works. Adults don't have very different motivations from toddlers. Well, that's true. They just have a different. You can present things in a different way. An adult is capable of understanding it.
I'll have this open in no time. Dead on.
We took the wizard out in the opening volley. That was great.
That's it.
Dead on.
I wonder why they chose this idea. They use the term vessel for undead. Who has the highest mechanical skill in the party now? Let's see. Can we see that? I think it's still going to be Smeech. His mechanics is 6, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0. Dang, her survival is 9. Her stealth is 5. Yeah, 6. Not even close to what I need it to be. I wonder if we're going to need to find some gear to make some of this up. I think a part of the problem too is that I haven't found a legitimate thief. Like if I found a legitimate thief to have in my party, like an actual rogue type character. I don't know if thief was a character class. I can't remember what the character classes were for the game. They might start with a better mechanical skill, and maybe that we would be able to move on. Reduced crit damage on the fine arbalist. I don't like that. The standard damage though is much higher, and that's a fine scale armor. I think we're ready to head down to the next floor now. Oh, that is where we wanted to go. That's the entrance to the temple. Her survival skill, though, man, that's through the roof. All right, here we go. Down the stairs.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
All right, party. What is going on? Oh, somebody's still stealthed.
Yes?
You can stop being stealth now.
Just say the word.
Merchant stall construction completed. Yes, we have merchants back at the castle now. We're just going to go down the list a little bit. Okay, here's a question for you guys. Oh, whoops. Hold on. I'll ask in just a minute. Investigate the Legend Key's activities. Older robed man. In front of you looms the ghostly hollow image of the man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dank corridor as he regards you.
You are from Kraytun, my boy.
I guess. His words are an echo in your mind from a time long past, and you know your response before you speak it, as if it has always been. Yes, I was born there, I guess?
A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have.
There's a way around the mechanical skill. I'm reading about it
Many
now. Oh,
exceptional
cool.
People who have joined
Yeah, that'd be
our
nice.
cause come from Kraytun. What made you decide to join our order?
Your teaching spoke to me. The world needs to know about the true gods. I got stuck in level 9, yes. The gods have been good to me and I wish to repay them. I went through dark times. Nothing made sense. They all changed when your order came to my homeland. I saw the gods grant miracles to your order. Let's say that.
Little makes sense in the false context. Much of the world
I did
has
find
lived
the spike
for so
room.
long. It is by the
I
mercy of
very
the
nearly
gods that
died
our
in
faith
there.
has been able to reach so many of the heathen in more recent times.
I found a small key in the spike room, but I couldn't find what the small key opened. I guess I did not find the hidden chamber room. Welcome back.
Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
I am, I guess.
Yes?
Okay, I think my bard
Of course.
sounds a little bit like
Yes.
like the barbarian from what was that D&D cartoon I just watched called?
Following your lead. Yes?
Yeah,
Just
forget
say the
it.
word.
Never mind. Apparently there's a switch only you can see in stealth. Okay, so we'll do these 2 quests while we're here. Since we're here anyway, and we've already made it into the temple. We'll do the 2 quests while we're here, and then we'll head back and see if we can get through it. If we have time. It's already 10:15. There's got to be a secret door here.
Wonder what this is.
And what does the flame reveal?
What am I seeing? Smeech said, wonder what this is, but I'm not sure what we're seeing. That looks like a secret door, doesn't it? Lately, I've been getting to sleep around 2 a.m. You and me both. Half McG. The mercenary eyes you warily as you approach his weapon readied. What are you doing here? You don't look like one of that masked lot. What's going on here? Since you don't know, you clearly don't belong here. Your shots of alarms. Well, I guess I'm going to fight my way in. I could have probably found a mask, but I never did find one on the trolls. Apparently, without mechanics of 12s, you have a hard fight, so the mechanics is just to avoid that fight. And the fight doesn't scare me. I'm not scared of a hard fight. So with the mechanics of 12, I should be able to get through. I had to take a long time, though. So much for that guy. Everybody's going to be on alert, so... Or at least it seems like it will be now.
I'm on the trail. Not a problem. You're mercenaries. We don't know what those mercenaries do. Oh, there's a mercenary mage. That is definitely the mage back there in the back. Oh, there's a whole bunch of mage. Come on, take him out. Take him out so we can get to the mage. Start killing mirror images. Are we all Just
caught
say
in
the
the
word.
web? Kind of looks like it. Ooh, what do we get? Ripple sponge, poultry, meat. Plenty of stuff for making dinner later. Oh, we got a new grimoire. It's a novice grimoire, though, so it's probably not got much in it that we don't already know. Anything new? We don't know Wizard's Double. We don't know Spirit Shield. There's a lot of stuff here I don't know. They're all first levels. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Up to 3rd level spells. Expose. We don't know many of these. I thought I knew Fireball. I do know Fireball. Do I know all of these? I guess I do. Oh wait, these are the ones. These are the new ones. These are the ones I already know. I thought it said not in Grimoire. But that means it's not something I have memorized. So if anything, maybe upgrade your gear, but you might not need mechanics to finish. Excellent. So what spells do we have here? Curse of Blackened Sight shrouds the target's visions in total darkness, blinding them. Binding Web spins a resilient viscous web through the area of effect, leaving unfortunate victims stuck inside. Mirrored Image creates a duplicate of the caster to distract. We probably want this. Displace Image cause the caster to appear visually displaced, increasing their deflection and reflex for the duration. Many deflection and reflex attacks that score hits will be converted to grazes. We can take that. We're going to hang on to this until we learn the rest of the spells. I don't know why I have my bard carrying all of these for Smeech. There are so many gear slots I have not even filled yet. Look at all these. Like, half these people have almost no gear.
Nothing will slip past me.
Maybe don't shout that when you're trying to sneak attack somebody. There's another one. Probably the same spells, but we'll check it later. Am I in Discord? I don't know if I've got Discord open or not, but I can open it. Travel into the next room while I'm opening things. While Discord is opening in the background.
Grave.
Those initiates, they don't last long. Still taking a second to open.
Let's see what's in here. That'll do it.
Took some money. The queen that was and still is. Is that the same? Yes. Same book. Does it have a value? Worth 16 coppers. We'll take it. There it goes. Activities are staying free for all. What? I'll have to read that later. Okay. I am in Discord now. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, okay. Let me open that. Okay. Just looking at that without even reading helps a little bit. Posted a great 3-hour music thing in Discord. Is that what you posted last night? The witch whatever? At least you won't run into many puzzles on here. Forbid you running into a greater enemy than a sliding puzzle. Hey now. I do suck at puzzles. Send you a walkthrough you can reference if you get stuck later. I did not get the new games on Epic for today. I got those last night, the Guacamelee games, but I have not got today's games yet. Use at your own risk. I'll try to avoid using it mostly. What is today's new game? Claim this week's free games before June 29th to keep it. Kind of want to play this Aliens game they've got, though. Come on. Load for me. What is this week's game? There it is. Oh, Idle Champions. And Hunter Call of the Wild. I don't know that one. I think it's weird that Idle Champions is a free game, given that it's already a free game. Like, it's always a free game. So unless they had like some kind of free bonus content, it seems weird to me. It doesn't look like they do. You have a Spelljammer pack now. Okay, go back so I can pick up the Hunter Call of the Wild. Next week's game is Dungeons of Niblink or something like that, which I started playing once, and I wouldn't mind finishing it. It wasn't bad. It was like an actual RPG version of Dungeon Defenders. There we go. Picked him up. Got them. Free games in the inventory now. What are these? Silver finnings. I don't know how money exchange works in this game. Is it automatic? It seems like it's maybe automatically changing money into my current currency.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
Wait, guess not. Oh, no cats? I don't actually know what I'm looking for in here. We're just investigating their activities.
Wonder what this is.
Oh, we found a secret over there. Dead. Dead mercenary. Dead mercenary. Dead mercenary. More dead mercenary. Yet another dead mercenary. You gotta love being a little bit overpowered sometimes. Some people like a challenge. I just like to be a little bit overpowered all the time. We got a fine rod. Ooh, and a scroll of protection. There are actually more freebies in the freebies category that they don't mention. Finding copper. On Epic? Also, it looks like maybe I have a friend request. I don't know who Young Draco is, but sure, Young Draco, I'll be your friend on Epic. Just know I don't play much on Epic. There's a Warhammer game in there? How do I find the freebies section? Most played, top upcoming. Coming soon. Most popular, games with achievements. Recently updated, now on Epic. I don't even know how to find the free stuff. Everybody back to sneaking.
Flame and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Aloth falters and brings a hand to his forehead. He takes a staggering step forward, coughing and sputtering.
Stop, Claude! Those hooded fiends are not to be trusted.
Probably not. But that's no reason to be Aloth, are you unwell? He grimaces, catching his breath. It's nothing, I'm fine. He coughs again. This probably isn't the best place to linger anyhow. What is wrong with him? Store price, then free. Aha. So I just need to go to browse, basically. By price, free. Gods Unchained, scribble it. Bugby? Celestia Ultimate. I don't know what that is. I don't know what most of these are. Warhammer Chaos and Conquest? What kind of game is this? Is this a MMORPG and strategy gameplay in one? PvE and PvP strategic combat. Might be worth trying out.
I shall be discreet.
You go here, and you go here.
Just say the word.
Smeet, you draw them into the room. They won't know what hit them as they come around that corner. A shrouded woman. The shrouded woman is dead. How about a shrouded man? He's gonna get away. He's gonna get to the group. Let's just let the AI take over and see how they do. Doesn't seem like they're doing super well. They're doing okay. They're doing okay, but only because they're overpowered for this room. Okay, let's summon something. Let's summon some dragons. Summon some baby dragons. Will you do me a favor and heal him, please? Oops, wrong thing. Wait. Yeah, maybe that's what I want to use. This on him. There we go.
That's not very helpful.
Oh, what happened? Kill that shrouded man. That link I sent you has the entire game walkthrough, just in case you hit a wall and need to look it up. I'm gonna try to get through mostly without it, but I'm glad I will keep it open in a tab just in case. I'm not against using a walkthrough if I absolutely have to. Crumpled at your feet lies the body of a woman. She wears a dark robe that bears an insignia resembling a key. That's what we're looking for. As you approach the woman's body, feelings of rage assault you. The dead woman's voice howls in your ears, and her lingering consciousness rends at yours. Her essence tingles through your bones and membranes. It fills the spaces between your ears and behind your eyes, clawing deeper into your core. You see a gathering of men and women wearing robes like hers, their faces hidden behind masks. One by one, they approach her, whom they know as an acolyte, and she places her hand on each of their foreheads, searching their thoughts. She tests them with ritualistic questions, and they answer that their oath is sealed by the leaden key. She asks them of their tasks. She gives them new ones, all without a word. Try to see the tasks. Her essence flares, fighting to boil your blood, burn your memory, and splinter your bones from within. Yet between its strikes, you see flashes of something else. A tower, a prisoner, and a ruin. You funnel all of your concentration into a single effort of will, a sharp point that pins the raging soul in place like an insect in a display case. With the thing under control, you're able to examine it and the three thoughts swirling inside. Let's look at the tower. You see a palimpsest of a neighborhood. Run-down estates are cobbled around a cemetery and an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in the tower a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him. Somewhere nearby you see a woman with a scar over her heart. You understand that she has something he needs. You also see a door in the base of the tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper. But then the acolyte reveals the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. You know how to open the door. Good thing we know. Now we know. That's going to be important to have later. Inquire about the prisoner. In your mind, you see a building, magnificent with trellises and tiles and located in a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin. Yet it only houses misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core sits a man, his hair matted but his eyes alert. He watches and waits, a prisoner by choice. A prisoner by choice? Look into the ruins. The Acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay and to a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the paths reads, Deerford, or Direford. Several figures huddled together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruin suddenly looms in your mind. 2 skeletal effigies flank a cleft in a mountainside. Find the tower. That's our... We're done. We're done here, it seems. Next stop, Tower Finder. Let's take this. And this is a fine scepter. I'm going to give that to you because you might be able to use it. And Smeech, you've got the lead key now. Find the man who
Just
waits.
say
Find
the
the Palace of Misery and Madness. And travel to Deerford Village. Just a bunch of fine gear.
Leave it
Quest
to me.
Never Far from the Queen is completed. Oh, did we finish our other construction? The quest expires in 1 day. The Ivory Horn added. The quest expires in 1 day. How long ago did I get this? Rewards 15% experience. The Nautilus of Orgrimmon. 150 to 300 copper in treasure. Expires in 25 hours. Duration 1 turn. Explorers in Ear Glenfath discovered an ivory horn of disputed provenance. Many Glenfathans believe it was stolen from an Ingwithan ruin, but the explorers claim it was dropped by an early dwarven expedition. The explorers were waiting for Direwooden arbitration in Ina's Rest when thieves attacked the group, killed several members, and stole the horn. Its current whereabouts are suspected to be somewhere along the Isk-Ain River. No companions at the stronghold. Oh, so if I had companions in the stronghold, I can assign them quests. And it gives us stuff. That's cool. I just don't have any companions yet because I'm still working on building stuff. What are we currently building? I don't even remember. The towers. Our local Checkers restaurant is trying out AI speakers to take orders in an effort to help with shortages of employees. That's probably going to start happening a lot. Whether by design or by consequence of the sputtering candlelight, the hooded statue's face is almost impossible to see. Devotees have placed assorted keys, their teeth filed away among the runnels of wax. Ooh, we opened something. Torque of Defiance. Defiance? Plus 25 defense against Charm Confused. Yes. Yes. 10 per defense against Domination. Who am I giving this to? Let's give it, just take it for now. It goes on the neck. Who has a, that's a ring. Oh, so the cloak is also a neck. I really want him to have it if he doesn't already have something. So we're going to take that away and give him this. He can't wear that. Only usable by rangers. Oh, never mind. Never mind then. Didn't catch that part. Fortitude, will, reflex. There we go. Compare. Whoops, not to you. You're not using that. There. Ha! Now we're in good shape. Love the fries at Checkers. I don't know if I've ever eaten at Checkers.
Can do.
Okay. Effects that modify the same statistic will often suppress each other. In those cases, the game uses only the highest bonus. Good to know. The steward of Cadnua has received a letter for you. Speak to the steward. Can't do that through here.
A moment, please. I feel I should explain myself. About my episode in the catacombs, there's something I should have told you earlier.
Well, tell me now. He clasps his hands together, slowly massaging a knuckle with his thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. That when we resolved the matter of your soul, we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
He closes his eyes and grits his teeth. His lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes again. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten
Isilmir.
stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about
Heartless,
Isilmir.
Uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen.
Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get his gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
He grimaces, running his hands through his hair. I have none of her memories. Barath spared me that much. But her coarse manners and intolerable hill speak suggest a provincial from a very, very long time ago. She tends to surface a hair's breadth from conflict, when the fuse has burned down and teeth are on edge. And when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge a situation, she just acts. She seems reckless. That's it exactly. You recall the way she goaded those villagers in Gilded Vale. She doesn't think and she doesn't back down. And trying to suppress that has been my problem for years. Why didn't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago.
I don't know, I
Those
just didn't
with
want to.
awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meerwald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Is this going to be a
Merely
problem?
an annoyance. Although,
He lowers his voice and clasps his hands behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arms betray his fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
Well, if it's gonna help, let's go.
Thank you. This has been a great burden.
Find an
Just
expert
say
on
the word.
awakening somewhere in Defiance Bay. Well, we're probably not gonna do that. But I don't know where to go. We've got a lot to do now. We've still got... wait. Well, yeah, we've still got to find the awakening expert. And what was the other one I'm trying to do? Oh, this one. And we've still got to find the records. The records archive. And we don't know where those are in the city. So let's check out Brackenbury first. We'll just start down here and work our way back around. Season their fries with crushed red peppers, paprika, and oregano before deep frying them? How come it's not working? How come it didn't work? Oh, there it goes. Whew, it just took it a minute. Took it a minute. I do need to get that timer up to give you the shortcut to spending your points. Brackenbury. All right, what do we have in Brackenbury? We've got the sanitarium. might be one place we need to go. Hadrit House, House Dominel, Raymont Manor, and the Charred Barrel. Well, there's the sanitarium. Maybe the sanitarium knows.
Can do.
Following your lead.
Greetings.
A woman stands in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She's fixated on the pages of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and the cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when your shadow crosses her page. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. What are you so busy with yourself with? She snaps her book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the Hollowborn. But if we understand how to reattach souls, we could end Wyden's legacy, maybe even conquer death. Soul gum. Yes, just a little bit of soul gum, stick it to the soul, stick it to the body, it'll be all good. Soul glue. That's the theory anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all of the research I need to put it into practice. Okay. What do you need? There's a manuscript called The Theorems of Pandagram. It contains research from Pandgram's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Oh, so the Hall of Revealed Mysteries is where the archives is? Pandgram's work is considered to be one of the more, daring Animency texts. Not something generally circulated among novices, nor easy to get a hold of. I wonder if we might have a peek at it. The theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda the High Archivist worships Whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict that kind of information that would be useful to me. Maybe she could be persuaded. You're welcome to try, but you wouldn't be the first. Look at me spilling my troubles. It's kind of you to listen, but I should really get back to my work. Anything else? Such as? Like to know about the Hall of Revealed Mysteries? What are the Elder Archives? The Elder Archives hold the rarest, most arcane, and most powerful texts in the Deerwood. Think of it as the inner sanctum of the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Needless to say, you need Grimda's permission to enter. You'll find it in the Copper Lane district. It's dedicated to the God of Secrets and Revelations. Most importantly, it houses the largest and most expansive library in the Direwood. I don't know which one it's supposed to be, Deerwood or Direwood. I've heard them say it and I can never remember. Well, that settles it. We simply must go see it, right? Alright. That's all I wanted to ask. I'll leave you alone. Go into the Hall of Revealed Mysteries, but we're going to the sanitarium first. Let's go in. We need somebody who knows about two-souled people. Addendum two-sided. It appears that Brackenberry Sanitarians are our best hope of finding help.
Leave it to me.
Head Warden Ethelmore? A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by a hopeful the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There's a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned toward you. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply. Oh, sorry, I didn't use a deep voice. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I don't have a very deep voice, can you tell? I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it? that has brought you to my sanitarium. Does anyone here know anything about awakenings? There's an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Revua to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Belasage. Belasage. You don't seem like you mind reading dialogue. I don't usually mind reading dialogue. It gets to be so much dialogue. Sometimes there's just so much that my voice starts to kind of go away. And sometimes, if it's not well-written dialogue, sometimes I just start to get annoyed and want to rush through it. You may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. Ethelmore groans and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own. But a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it. Hey, we gained 360 experience for that. They're up to something. I'm trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I suspect it might be a patient. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. I'm curious how you came to be locked in a statue. In the statue, you mean? Well, he laughs. I was old, and it seemed wrong to me. A lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body, none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience, wasted. If we are ever to unearth the principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition. Of that I am quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple as our techniques go, and for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they are not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humor me and consult over some problem, but they are a jealous breed and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you're considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Alright, good enough.
Yeah?
Let's talk to the animancers.
I'm on it.
Verna? You sense a strange divide in this woman's soul, an unnatural boundary between two opposed wills. You see the woman pausing by a roadside to hand something to the driver of a stopped wagon. These herbs should help with his party's sickness, she tells him. He can find more along the road, easy to spot with their serrated leaves, but avoid the ones with the green berries. It's a different species. Toxic. He thanks her and offers her coin, but she waves him off, explaining that she is merely doing what her order asks of her. He nods and she heads off down the road as he begins to hungrily consume the herb. You see the woman searching alongside the road now, the wagon just up the path, and you realize you have skipped backwards in her memory. She sets eyes on a plant with serrated leaves and green berries. She picks several handfuls, tearing the berries off one by one and tossing them to the ground. She nudges them off the path into the brush quickly with her boot without looking down, as if to hide them from her own sight, before striding back toward the wagon, hands outstretched. Ooh, that's kind of a creepy little story, isn't it? A noble, an animancer. Nope. You see a dark room with garish furnishings. A large bed covered with pillows, several couches, and expensive rugs. This man is sitting in a chair pushed against the wall of the room opposite the door. He is dressed in dark clothes with a black cloak wrapped around his shoulders, its hood pulled close around his face. Shadows fall across him, the darkness rendering him virtually invisible. 2 other men wait in the darkness with him, watching the door. All 3 are motionless. Noise from the crowded common room below echoes up through the floorboards. The handle rattles. A man staggers in, dragging a young woman with him. The 2 standing men exchange a quick glance, one of them tilting his head and shrugging only slightly before jumping to the task at hand. One steps forward, grabbing the girl's wrist, wrenching it from her escort's hold with one hand while pushing the door closed with the other. Then that hand is over the girl's mouth before she is even aware she's in someone else's arms. He takes a dagger from its place on his belt and draws it across her neck. He holds her still, waits for the struggles to stop. The other standing man has already subdued their target, now tied to a chair, arms and legs bound with a rag stuffed in his mouth. The girl, no longer moving, is placed under the bed, the man who dealt with her taking his place beside the other. They stare down at the man screaming against the cloth, but the muffled sound is unheard over the raucous noise of the crowd below. One of the men begins murmuring softly, putting his hand under the chin of the man in the chair. There's a brief flash of light, and the man stops struggling, a suddenly placid look in his eyes. The 2 captors ask various questions that the bound man answers happily. After they finish, the 2 look to the man sitting against the wall. He has not moved as the events transpired before him, but only sat, silently observing everything as it happened. He stands, holding the cloak closed around him, and nods to the 2 men. He then walks to the door, opens it only far enough to allow himself to exit, and leaves them to finish their task. This, man, sometimes it feels like I should do something about this. So none of these animancers are the ones I'm looking for. We can read these books, though. Psalm to Wodaka. I don't know if I need to read these books. I probably do. Alright, well, let's head downstairs and see if we can find an animancer with answers. And a member of the Leaden Key. Since we're here. Modred. An animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Good day, stranger.
Can I help you? He forces a polite smile. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. I hear that Valian woman studies them. You should go talk to her instead. Must be joking. This is a sanitarium. Nothing is usual down here. Although, now that I think of it, the patients seem more agitated lately. But they're Caedmon Azo's responsibility, not mine. If there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. Caedmon Azo is responsible for the care. So we gotta find Caedmon.
How do you do?
Belisage! A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ikosi, here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the Kith standing in front of me. What can I do? I don't know what Ikosi means. It's just some kind of exclamation, it seems. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. Have you noticed anything unusual? What do you do here? I'd like to know more about animancy and the Valian. She laughs bitterly. Ack! That would be me. Though the lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animancy's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened. But I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. And look, I have a volunteer. Gallard, who is it? Lips, I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest. You adherents are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her... She just jests all the time. She just doesn't know what's going on. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax. But don't try too hard. Then, you will not be relaxing. Indeed. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animaster fastens thick copper bands to Aloth's forehead and wrists. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. How exciting! I've never seen this sort of thing performed. Kana peers at the device with interest. It seems suitably complicated. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Iselmir more? I like that lady. She raises a finger. But first we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Don't worry. I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal. Something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the Sithwood. He looks to you. His face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension show through nevertheless. What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mists of his own memory. Bella Sage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closes his eyes. Comfortable, modest, quiet when Mother was away, which is most of the time. Quiet enough to hear the clink of glass on wood. This is when I know to be most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue and twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am sweeping the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals, but it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Madicho? Bella Sage fiercely cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with this old memory. You've got to bring him out of it. Quickly, I almost have it. You're safe. Everything's fine. Shake him by the shoulder. They love you. Got it. It's just a memory. It isn't real. Yes, that's it. His eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. And what about these rattles you see in the space twixt your ears? They real enough for you? Bella Sage sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it! I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high in ire. What warm molasses feeling that crips down your gut when crisis is nigh. Perfetto. We have flares of a totally distinct essence. She jots short-handed notes onto the pages next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now, try to get the two of them talking. Aloth, ask Isilmir what she's doing. Gonna tell Aloth why you've awakened? There we go. Fie! He's the one needing me, hiding in his own bone bag like a turtle in its shell. Aloth's face twists in fury. I never turned it over to you. Good. Yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling, only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the space that he leaves empty. Go on. Aloth, what's this about ceding space to Isilmir? I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. Aye, and I lend him a pair too. You should ask what I did with that old man of his. Okay. I'm not very good with this accent at all. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. I was awakening, but now I'm stuck with you, and damn if I let your ninnying drag us both through the scupper. Very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isilmir's essence through the exchange. She had a particularly high density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seems to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aloth blinks back at you, and in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horseshit. Black bile, is it? They've certainly spat their share. Kana studies Aloth dubiously. It is a simpler explanation than I expected, all things considered. At least you tried. I'm doing my best, but it's not that great. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation? Isilmir manifests when Aloth is in danger or under pressure. Related to potential source of trouble. If you're right, then removing Aloth's spleen should cure him. Oh no, let's not say that. Bella Sage carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I'll have to check this against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Bella Sage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. Isilmir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. That's kind of what I'm thinking. My thoughts exactly. I'll have to be more careful about her from now on. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thanks for your help. He does not look at Bella Sage. She sets her notes on the desk and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Rebua, Fintra Aloth. We got a lot of experience from that. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the right-wise principles of animancy. Just what you've always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eye. Bella Sage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. You get your explanation, she gets her research, that was a deal. Fair enough, but do it quietly. Can't let you do that, not after hearing how much is... Sure. Smeech would not even hesitate. I mean, look who Smeech's best friend is. Best friend. Employer? Buddy? bosom companion? What do you call Vinwaris? I don't know. We'll see to this on our own. Well,
Just
so
say
much
the
for
word.
that. Now we only have one more person to find while we're in here. Not Ripley.
How do you do?
Young Orlin woman traces her fingers along the spines of the books in front of her. Row by row, her motions quick and skittish, like a bird's. She does not notice you until you are nearly upon her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? Investigating suspicious activity in the sanitarium. Oh, I'm just Master Ozo's assistant. He'd know more about that, but he's in the middle of an busy with some patients. You won't be able to see him until he comes out from the patient's ward. If there's nothing else, I'd like to get back to work. How do I get into the patient's ward? Only Master Ozo has access. I guess Head Warden Ethelmore does too, but he's, you know, statue now? Okay. I'm just an assistant. It's not my place to gossip. I'm sorry. I mostly help Master Ozo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized since he's too busy to do it himself. Okay, well now we know. Talk to Ethelmore about Ozo. Let's see what's going on in this room first. Dented and scored with claw marks. So we can't get in there. We have to go up and talk to Ethelmore.
Greetings.
Have you heard anything of interest? Is Caedmon Ozo running experiments on the patients here? Experiments? Caedmon Ozo is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Caedmon. I had hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient's wards. I'm granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter. And I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. We'll do our best, but I'm not promising anything. Agitating people is kind of my thing. It's what I do best. Agitating. All right, let's head in. Hit that F5 button. Head Warden says you can go in. Be careful in there. Flesh Construct. Frail Sanitarium Guard. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward. Her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. Then noting your appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. What? Do you know where I might find Ozo? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. Well, there's Batixa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Idleman, who they say only has half a soul, and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham. He speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior, I mean? Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Ozo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. Okay, now I'm leaving. We're going to find Ozo. We might have to put Ozo down. Interview Graham in the North Ward. Lockpicks required 3. Party lockpicks 22. Yeah, go ahead.
That'll do it.
We have got Ravenwing, unique mace. DR reduction, coordinating, damaging. I can't remember if his skill gives him maces. Or if it was just swords. I thought he had... Weapon specialization, knight. Battle axe, sword, morning star crossbow. So not mace. There's Cade Manazzo.
Let's see what's in here. As promised.
Blade Golan? Breakout, preservation, breakout. 50% stun duration. And this is a light armor. A round-faced balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
Ethelmore told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Ethelmore hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved into an inanimate object, so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If Animancers all followed the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as Redcerus. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. I never thought I'd find myself in agreement with the statue, but Ethelmore's right about this fellow, at least. How easily ambition masquerades as prudence. I'll bet he's fooled even himself. And it seems to me we're still in the dark. Sure, there are other paths that don't involve risking lives. You're right about that much. There are certain questions that have to be asked.
Indeed. Many lives have been spent in such pursuits, writing treatises and poems. But tell me this, how does one verify the truth of a poem? If some philosopher stumbled across the meaning of our existence, how would we know it from a false one? These are wasted lives. In Animancy there is progress. We are measurably closer to complete
Measurably
understanding because of our
closer?
work, and that will be true until our work is complete. Who will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church?
Measurably
Some
closer.
warrior?
I like that.
It will be an Animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. So you can coerce them into your experiments? Frail told me everything. Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head
You
warden.
smug Cretan. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl simmering beneath his breath, and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
Oh, we got the key. I have, yes. No point in lying about it now that Ethelmore is involved. I asked for volunteers from our patients and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifices would mean something. That's none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Oddmer? That smug weasel. Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I'll never know. Okay. Goodbye, jerk-faced evil guy. I probably should not mess with the patients. Can I get past a flesh construct? Yeah, I guess I can.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets.
No.
Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
These animators are as mad as their patients. These are lunatics and wastrels. At least maybe it is. How would you know? I doubt the wealthier citizens have the same experience. That's probably true. I'm sure they have their share of family members they'd rather forget. But if all were treated like this, the sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant such conditions? Oh, I don't know. I don't like any of what I just said. Seems like there are better options. I don't like any of this sanatorium thing. But what are you gonna do, right? You can't burn it to the ground. Everybody in here would die. We have not found our way to the north wing yet. Hey, was that a door I could have come through earlier? Yes. Wicks in the cell back there, they have incidents when people get close. I don't know where I should be going. There is... Oh, there's a door here. I missed this door. Oh, I probably should not be doing that. Didn't mean to steal stuff. Okay, I'm supposed to be going to the North Wing, but I don't know how to get there. North Ward. He was not pleased to give it. Maybe that was up there. Maybe I just got to find which of these pages the guy that I'm looking for is in. Maybe that was the North Ward. Thundering sky, rain of blood, innocents must drown. Uxgrim, a willowy adolescent boy, stands in the center of the cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish. You close your eyes and edge forward toward the boy's soul, and as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You're cold and warm at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one. A parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You're standing in a cell now. The same cell in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds. The same stops every time. The misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you, collapsing to the floor. A puppet whose strings are cut. Topher, thank you very much for the heads up on that 36 minutes we've got left. You're rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart toward the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel. You are strong again. You step heavy-footed down the corridors unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office, piled with books and scribbled papers and perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle again into place, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You're acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl. But this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. Bear witness, he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there is obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks at a volume for the crowd. And this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes toward you, his hand outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people. The people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There's no mistaking now that it is the soul of the man who caused your awakening that gazes out from the burrowed husk. A watcher. Points are 100% connected to chatting every so often. I know you're supposed to get base points just for being here, but you do get more points if you chat. I know that much. Like, I think you get 10 extra points every 5 minutes if you've chatted in that 5-minute time. I don't really know exactly how that works, but I think that's close. Or maybe it's 10 minutes. It may be 10 minutes. Not just a watcher, someone who will break those frail little legs of yours. I believe we share a common past. I'm just looking for some answers. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest. but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look. You hunger. Hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face, there's no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward. Oh no! I think all of the flesh golems just became evil. Uh-oh. I had never found Graham. There was Graham. Let's see what else is going on. We still have this 18 hours left. Why does that keep popping up with something to do? Towers is still in progress. Okay. Show me a vision of an agent in place of misery. I uncovered the leaden key operative in the sanitarium. He has the ability to possess those with weak souls and was using one of the patients to influence Cayman Ozo's animancy research. I didn't wish to kill all the patients, honestly. I thought the guy who was named would be harder.
Just say the word.
Shoot this guy. Shoot the thingy. Go down there and kill that. You. Kill this guy and you.
Ready, Watcher.
Shoot that.
Aye.
You, and
Following
you.
your lead.
All focus on Idleman. Okay. Here.
Ready, Watcher.
Here. Oh, did Idleman die too? Okay, that means everyone can attack this flesh construct. And this one.
Can do.
It sounds like we're gonna have to fight our way out. Like things are going crazy in here. This is not
going
good.
Anywhere like this.
Wait, what? I'm not going anywhere like what? Oh, he's carrying too much stuff. We got lots of people carrying stuff that I didn't intend. The sounds of the wailing are terrible. Just cleaning out our inventory for a moment. Oil. Just plain oil. That's it. Just oil. There. There we go. No stabby stabby. Alright, None the Artist. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me this week. Sleep well and have a good weekend.
Crave does.
Fight is mine.
Okay. The flesh golems don't carry a lot.
Crave does philothili.
Wicked. Witched.
Dead on.
I'm only a little upset that I let all these people die. So much for the sanitarium. Kind of destroyed it. Is everyone in here dead? No, she's still alive. Getting out of here, it's not safe. Good idea. Let's go. What the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. At which point, it's complicated. A patient of yours, Uskgrim, was working for the Leaden Key only without knowing it. You finished your explanation, and Ethelmore breaks his silence. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you describe. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far as to suggest that they are all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us, plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. Oh, there was plenty of loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. What of Ozo? What part does his experiments play in this catastrophe? Ozo was only trying to help the patients. The Leaden Key took advantage of him. Leaden Key would have found a way to interfere with the sanitarium even without Ozo. If I hadn't come along, Ozo's experiments would have eventually resulted in another scandal. At the worst possible time. Say no more. Caedmon Ozo is no longer welcome at this facility. I just made an enemy of Caedmon Ozo. Okay, so that finished The Man Who Waits. The leveling process has really slowed down since we started doing quests and reading texts and such. Okay, so we did finish 2 quests in here. The next one we're trying to do, though, is we're going to go back and try to find the archive. But is the Elder Archive and the Records Archive, are those the same archives? Uh-oh.
Good day, stranger.
A Dunrid Row messenger. Beg your pardon. I have a message for you. You are summoned to Hadret House where Lady Webb wishes to meet with you as soon as possible. Not much you can do in these parts without Lady Webb knowing about it. At least that's what I'd always heard. Guess it's true. Well, it's Lady Webb. She knows everything. Do you not know Lady Webb? Well, no one's seen her exactly in a long time, but she's the mistress of Dunrid Row. Has been for as long as anyone can remember. He pauses, eyeing passersby with suspicion. Quietly, he continues. She's supposed to be old. Older than anybody. And she never leaves her room. Some say she's wasted away and she's just a pile of bones kept animated by dark magics. She's still at it, best anyone can tell, learning things, keeping us safe, pulling the strings behind the throne too, it's said. Has a ring of ciphers doing her bidding, telling her everything that goes on. You do wrong in this country. Before you go asking the gods for forgiveness, you best ask Lady Webb first. Where can I find Hadret House? It's just up over there, my lord. The southwest corner of Brackenbury. You'll find the lady upstairs. Alright, let's go. Where Hadret House is right here. He even told me and I just totally was oblivious. Older robed man, oh no, there he is again. As you near the apparition, you are overcome suddenly by a powerful anxiety that sits like a stone in your stomach. The feeling is not quite real. The recollection of an emotion rather than the emotion itself. It wrenches your insides nevertheless. The apparition's brow is tensed, a look of concern playing across its face. The other missionaries...
say
Oh,
you have been
never
neglectful
mind.
of your duties. They speak out of concern for you. Now tell me, is there something to their concerns?
I don't think so. The pain in your stomach deepens, and you feel for a moment as though you're about to be sick. Your mouth has gone dry. Forgive me, Eminence. I wish to leave the order. The man folds his fingers together and presses them to his mouth, thoughtful.
You have been an apt student, and your convictions have inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way?
The people we intended to convert, they committed unspeakable acts, sacrifices, mutilations. My family has not taken my new faith well. They no longer speak to me. I've done something unforgivable. We're attacked on my last mission. I don't know any of these. The apparition exhales slowly and its lips press together, a sympathetic rapport in its eyes. A report? I don't know. Places its hand on your shoulder.
These are the ways of the heathen world.
Surely the gods would do better to destroy us all and start anew.
Perhaps they would. It may come to that one day. This is why we must not fail. The heathens are beyond the gods' reach. They do not know better. We are tasked with delivering them to the gods, so that the gods may heal their souls.
Is such a thing possible?
I have seen it with my own eyes. You will see it too, if you choose to remain. There is no greater calling than the one we have chosen. Neither words, nor wealth, nor battle will end this suffering. Only the gods. Will you give them that chance?
I suppose. The knot in your stomach seems to loosen all at once, and the anxiety is replaced with something else entirely. Something warm and soothing, and it is something you know you can never repay. As the vision fades, you start to become cognizant of the many odd looks aimed in your direction. Your last response echoes in your mind. I will. You see a woman, dark-skinned, taut with worry. Moving aft, she scales the rigging and shouts frantically at the crew. The ship isn't turning fast enough. She looks at the captain, gaping soundlessly at the approaching vessel. Her hands blister from the descent as she jumps from rope to rope, screaming at him to take action, take charge, do something. What is she paying him for if not to defend her ship from pirates? With a squeal as ladders are thrown across, the ship is boarded. She sprints below decks, taking the steps 3 at a time until she reaches the cargo hold. Scrabbling amongst the containers, she searches until she finds it. A blunderbuss, fully loaded. Someone grabs her from behind. She throws up a knee, whirls around, and shoots. The force sends her spine first into the wall, but her assailant falls to the ground with half a head and without an arm. Dragging herself up the stairs, she reloads and engages the enemy force with her crew. She cocks an eyebrow as pirates drop left and right. Clearly, this was more than they had bargained for when they chose her ship. Let's see what Madam Web wants. Spider-Man character. Making an appearance in the game. She is supposed to be upstairs. Assuming this room? Lady Webb will see you now. Man, she really is like a spy master, isn't she? This woman clutches a thick stack of parchments with spindly, wrinkled fingers, their flesh stretched thin to near translucence with extreme age. A gossamer veil over pale blue veins. Ink splotches and candle burns dot and stripe her hands like a quilt, patterned after some great, indescribable truth. She does not look up from her reading.
So, the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aothis look like a child's cantrip, surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who took over Cad Noir.
Oh, yes.
Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me.
This is exactly what I would picture Aloth's mother to be like.
And this fiasco in the sanitarium that you seem to have gotten yourself into the middle of. What in blazes possessed you to stir that nest of trouble?
It was a personal matter.
A personal matter that has you tracing the footsteps of the leaden key. It must be some problem you have.
It is.
You're
Let me
not
tell
the
you.
only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in all of this. I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the leaden key?
She closes her eyes and the lids flicker. Then her face goes still and her mouth parts, little more than a sliver, and her hand briefly drops open, spilling some of her parchment to the ground. The pages wafting around her legs like the leaves of a dying tree. Her fleshy eyelids peel back, and her gaze is immediately upon you.
The gods are cruel, I'm afraid.
Yep.
The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key. One of the most elusive and dangerous men Eora has ever known.
How do you know I seek Theos? What can you tell me about Theos?
Because you have seen his face, and that makes it a simple matter for me to see it. You even happened to catch him in a ceremonial garb, it seems.
14 minutes.
Must have been a special occasion. More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true. The Leaden Key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it.
Oh, really?
What scraps of evidence exist suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man. Awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge and experience of all his lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take hundreds of years to bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order of things. But he is said to be one of Woodica's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism. That may also explain another supposed
Is she
gift
that
of
old she
his.
knows?
His body is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others.
Yes, we've seen
if
him do
their
that.
souls are weak enough. Often it is for elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply of pity. He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And once you do find him, if you can find him, I would not hold my hopes too high if I were you. He is a driven, single-minded man. He will not have the slightest concern for your problems.
Okay.
Keep me informed.
And what did you ask
The
me here
Leaden
for?
Key has been busy lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones they've crawled beneath. Keep turning them. Dunreed Row will not stop you. Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your
good.
case, it will surely point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can.
Okay.
If you find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you.
Something I can tell you about the Leaden Keys
Well,
operations.
let's hear it.
I found Theos in Brackenberry Sanitarium impersonating a patient who was trying to damage the public's opinion of
Forgive
animancy.
me. It is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious. He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep.
Ugh.
This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it.
Oh, okay.
But if this is connected to their
But is that part of what they do? They're out to take down animancy normally?
On a much larger scale. If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
Okay. How do you know so much about
The
Theos?
same way I come by all my knowledge. Exhaustive research, spying, bribery, perhaps some less savory measures. Whatever the knowledge demands, I pay in full. There is nothing of greater value. Unfortunately, with Theos, there is also nothing more scarce. He has covered his tracks far too well. His manipulations of the course of history are lost to time now, though I believe they were many.
What else is there to know about the Leaden
Precious
Key?
little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than a handful of other
As it should
members.
be.
They are kept in the
You
dark
never read
of
The Moon is a
missions
Harsh
they are not
Mistress.
involved
You
in,
should.
or sometimes
You would
of
learn
those
these
they
rules.
are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know. If you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal. Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary. And he does not fail.
Do I have other
Yes.
questions? Oh, lots. No, I don't want to ask any of those things. They're all rude. All right,
Try
that's
your
it.
best not to die out there.
Very well. Okay. Did we not just do that? Hermit Pet. Inform Lady Webb about the Leaden after having run across Theos and Bright. I let Lady Webb know. Okay, so we're just coming back here every time we get new information, I guess. Each time we do one of these 3 quests. Lots of loading.
Well, whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, Gilded Vale. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it.
Yeah.
You had it right.
Okay, let's go to Audra's Gift. We're gonna go. We get some points for going to each map. We'll do that real quick because we only got 7 minutes left of stream, so we don't have time to get started on much. So what do we have here? Salty Mist, Abandoned House, Colfigel's House, Otis House, Abandoned House, Heritage Hill, Valian Trading Company, Ramshackle House, and the Lighthouse. Sorry to nod off. You need to stay up till 4. Why do you need to stay up till 4 a.m.? Or hell, waking up at 9:30. See, for me, 9:30 seems like a good time to be waking up. Like waking up around noon to 1. Oh, okay. I have to get out. And tomorrow, I have to leave my house by 8:30 a.m. Unlocking will require the proper key.
Greetings.
Sorry, but this district's closed by order of the Duke himself. How do I get inside? Trust me, you don't want to. But if you are really set on seeing this for yourself, I suppose you have to get permission from Wyla at the keep in First Fires. Okay. What's going on in there? Look, even if I were allowed to tell you, I don't rightly know. All I can say is whatever it is, started about 2 months ago. The guards that closed the gate talked of something unnatural that still wakes them in the middle of the night. I don't want to know any more than that. So we're going to have to go find our way in by going to First Fires. Which isn't actually where I want to be. I should have... Hold on. I want to go to Copper Lane. We're going to see if we can do the quest for our companion first. So let's make our way real quick to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Someone actually stole something from the hall. Whale only knows Grimda's looking for someone to blame, though, so stay clear of her for a few days. Well, hopefully she's not going to be too angry seeing me. I might be stealing something from the hall if I can.
I'd wager there are more than a few banned books in here.
Is this also where the archives are? Okay. Well, we're here. We've got some things to do while we're here. But we're going to go ahead and save here. And that's where we're going to call it a night just a couple minutes early. Before we get into any more depth on this particular quest. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me this week. I know I made it seem like the week was over yesterday. The week is actually over today. There will be a video coming up tomorrow on the channel, but it's an older video. If you haven't seen my playthrough of Shining Force, it'll be the first of the Shining Force VODs that I've edited all of the fights out, and it's just the story. So just the story from our Shining Force playthrough. So if you want, you can check it out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you haven't, or if you have, you know. We'll be back on Monday. So, Topher, Squig, anybody else who's left in chat, thank you very much for being with me. I hope to see you again on Monday. Until then, stay sharp. Be excellent to each other. Have a wonderful weekend.